Welcome to the most comprehensive journey through the history of 24 major Forex currencies. No stone left unturned. If you've ever wondered how the dollars, euros, pounds, and yen in your wallet came to be, you're in the right place. Today we're diving deep, from the very beginnings of each currency to their impact on the global stage, past, present, and even their potential futures. This isn't just a quick overview. We're talking about a detailed, fascinating exploration that's guaranteed to keep you hooked, especially if you're an American curious about the world's money. Now picture this: every major financial event, every economic revolution, every fascinating twist that shaped these currencies. Right here, all in one video. Whether you're a Forex trader, a history buff, or just someone who loves a good story, you're going to walk away with a completely new perspective. Trust me, after this, you'll never look at your wallet the same way again. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and buckle up. We're about to embark on the most complete history of Forex currencies you'll find anywhere on YouTube. Let's get started with the one currency that rules them all: the US dollar. The story of the US dollar begins with America's fight for independence. Back in 1792, the Coinage Act established the dollar as the official currency of the United States, modeled after the Spanish dollar, which was already popular in the colonies. But it wasn't until 1861, during the Civil War, that the first greenbacks, paper dollars, were issued to fund the Union's war effort. Fast forward to 1913, and the creation of the Federal Reserve would forever change how dollars were managed and printed. The real turning point, though, came with the end of World War II and the Bretton Woods Agreement in 1944. The US dollar became the world's reserve currency, pegged to gold. And soon, countries around the globe started holding dollars as a safe store of value. Even after President Nixon took the US off the gold standard in 1971, the dollar's dominance only grew, supported by the sheer size of the American economy and the global demand for oil, priced exclusively in US dollars. Today, the US dollar is the most traded currency in the world, accounting for nearly 90% of Forex transactions. It's a symbol of economic power and stability, but it's also faced challenges: inflation, debt crises, and debates over its future role. Still, whether you're in New York, Tokyo, or Dubai, the greenback is never far from reach, a testament to its enduring influence. The euro's story is a tale of ambition, unity, and economic transformation. Conceived in the aftermath of World War II, European leaders dreamed of a currency that could bind former rivals together and foster lasting peace. After decades of planning and negotiation, the euro was officially launched in 1999 as a digital currency, with physical coins and notes entering circulation in 2002. Suddenly, countries from France to Finland were using the same money, a historic first. But the euro was more than just a symbol of unity. It was designed to create a single, powerful market. The introduction of the euro eliminated exchange rate headaches and made cross-border travel and trade much easier. However, the journey hasn't always been smooth. The 2008 financial crisis and the subsequent European debt crisis exposed deep differences in the economies of Eurozone members. Countries like Greece face severe challenges, testing the euro's resilience. Despite these hurdles, the euro today is the world's second most traded currency. It represents more than 340 million people across 20 countries and stands as a bold experiment in economic integration. Whether you see it as a triumph or a work in progress, the euro's impact on global markets is undeniable. The British pound sterling is the oldest currency still in circulation, dating all the way back to Anglo-Saxon England in the 8th century. Originally, a pound of sterling silver was divided into 240 pennies, a system that remained virtually unchanged for over a millennium. The pound's influence grew alongside the British Empire, becoming the world's dominant currency in the 19th century, when Pax Britannica saw British trade and culture reach every corner of the globe. Despite losing its reserve currency status to the US dollar after World War II, the pound has remained a symbol of stability and tradition. Decimalization in 1971 modernized the currency, and more recently, the decision not to join the Eurozone has kept the pound's unique identity alive. Today, the Bank of England continues to guard its legacy, introducing polymer notes and advanced security features to keep the currency modern and secure. What's fascinating is how the pound managed to weather economic storms, from the Black Wednesday crisis in 1992 to Brexit's uncertainty in recent years. Through it all, the pound has adapted, proving that even the oldest institutions can find new ways to stay relevant. The Japanese yen was born during a period of rapid modernization in the late 19th century. In 1871, the Meiji government introduced the yen as part of a sweeping effort to standardize and modernize the nation's economy, replacing the complex system of feudal coins used by samurai and merchants. The yen was pegged to silver, then later to gold, as Japan sought to play by the world's monetary rules. But, the real transformation came after World War II. The yen was fixed at 360 to the US dollar as part of Japan's reconstruction under American guidance. This stability, combined with Japan's economic miracle in the 1960s and 70s, turned the yen into Asia's leading currency. As Japan became a global industrial giant, the yen's influence spread throughout the region. Today, the yen is the third most traded currency in the world. It's known for its role as a safe haven in times of global uncertainty, reflecting Japan's reputation for economic prudence. From samurai silver to global powerhouse, the yen's journey is a testament to the resilience and adaptability of the Japanese people. The Swiss franc is, honestly, just synonymous with stability and security, and there's a rich history behind that reputation. Switzerland first unified its currency in 1850, replacing a dizzying array of local coins with a single national franc modeled after the French currency. The Swiss National Bank, established in 1907, really cemented the country's financial independence and commitment to sound money. Throughout the 20th century, Switzerland's policy of neutrality kept it out of both world wars, and its franc became a safe haven for investors fleeing global turmoil. The gold standard, strict banking secrecy laws, and a strong economy helped the franc weather the Great Depression, 2 world wars, and countless financial crises. Even after Switzerland voted to abandon its gold standard in 2000, the franc's appeal didn't diminish. Today, the Swiss franc remains one of the world's most trusted currencies. It's a favorite for central banks and investors looking for safety when markets turn volatile. With its iconic red banknotes and storied history, the franc stands as a beacon of financial prudence. The Canadian dollar, affectionately known as the loonie thanks to the bird on its $1 coin, has a history deeply intertwined with Canada's natural resources and its close relationship with both Britain and the United States. Canada's early money included a jumble of British, French, and even Spanish coins until the Canadian dollar was adopted in 1858, following the decimal system of the US. Throughout the 20th century, the Canadian dollar mirrored the country's fortunes, rising during resource booms and falling during downturns. The discovery of oil, the development of mining, and the growth of agriculture all played a part in shaping the loonie's value. In 1970, Canada allowed the dollar to float freely, embracing the ebb and flow of global markets. Today, the Canadian dollar is a key player in Forex, especially for traders watching commodity prices. Its value often rises and falls with the price of oil and other natural resources, making it a fascinating reflection of Canada's economy and its ties to the world. The Australian dollar story, really begins with the British colonies that eventually formed modern Australia. Early settlers actually used all sorts of things as money, everything from rum to British pounds, until the Australian pound was finally introduced in 1910. Then, in 1966, Australia made the big switch to a decimal-based Australian dollar. Interestingly, it became one of the very first countries to use polymer banknotes, which honestly, are now the global standard for durability and security. Australia's unique position, being so close to Asian markets and of course rich in natural resources, helped the Aussie dollar rise in prominence. As the country's mining and agricultural sectors really took off, especially in the 21st century, the currency became a top choice for traders hoping to profit from global commodity cycles. Its high interest rates and stability have made it pretty popular for what's called carry trades, where investors borrow in low-interest currencies and invest in higher-yielding ones like the Aussie. Today, the Australian dollar stands as one of the world's most traded currencies, representing a dynamic, outward-looking nation. Its colorful notes and those famous kangaroo coins, well, they really reflect a proud, innovative spirit that keeps shaping the Asia-Pacific region's financial landscape. The New Zealand dollar, often called the Kiwi, has a story that's honestly as unique as the country itself. Before 1967, New Zealand used a currency system based on the British pound, but with the switch to the decimalized dollar, the nation really embraced a new monetary identity. The Kiwi bird, which you'll find on the $1 coin, quickly became a symbol of national pride. New Zealand's economy, which is heavily reliant on agriculture and dairy exports, has truly shaped the Kiwi dollar's fortunes. It's known for being pretty sensitive to global commodity prices and is often seen as a proxy for Asian growth, thanks to New Zealand's close ties to the region. The country's commitment to economic reforms in the 1980s and 90s, including establishing an independent central bank and targeting inflation, set the stage for a stable and well-managed currency. Today, the Kiwi dollar definitely punches above its weight in the Forex market. Its reputation for transparency, robust governance and economic resilience makes it a favorite among traders, especially those who want exposure to the Asia-Pacific growth story. The Chinese yuan, also known as the renminbi, has honestly one of the world's oldest monetary histories, going all the way back to the Qin dynasty's standardized coinage over 2,000 years ago. For centuries, China was a leader in financial innovation, actually introducing the first paper money during the Song dynasty. But, centuries of turmoil, foreign invasions, and shifting dynasties led to frequent changes in currency and value. The modern yuan was born in 1948, just before the founding of the People's Republic of China. For decades it was tightly controlled, with pretty limited use outside China's borders. But as China opened up to the world in the late 20th century, the yuan started to take on a new role. Reforms since the 1980s have gradually allowed greater international use, and in 2016, the yuan joined the International Monetary Fund's basket of reserve currencies. A major milestone for sure. Today, China's push to globalize the yuan really reflects its ambitions to rival the US dollar's global influence. With initiatives like the Belt and Road and digital yuan experiments, the world is watching closely as China's currency continues to evolve. The Indian rupee's history is, honestly, as rich and varied as India itself. Its origins actually date all the way back to the 6th century BCE, with silver coins called rupiah issued by ancient kingdoms. Under the Mughal Empire and later on British rule, the rupee became the standard currency across the subcontinent. In 1947, after independence, India kept the rupee but gradually removed British symbols, embracing its own identity. The rupee's journey hasn't exactly been easy. Economic challenges, currency devaluations, and high inflation have all shaped its story. Notably, the 1966 and 1991 devaluations marked major turning points, opening India's economy to the world and setting off decades of growth. Then, in 2016, the dramatic demonetization of high-value notes really shocked the nation, as the government aimed to crack down on corruption and black money. Today, the rupee is a symbol of India's resilience and dynamism. With a population of over 1 billion and a rapidly growing economy, the world is definitely paying close attention to the rupee's next chapter. The Russian ruble's roots actually go all the way back to the 13th century, making it, honestly, one of the oldest currencies still in use. The ruble was the standard for the vast Russian Empire, and amazingly, it survived the collapse of the Tsars, the rise of the Soviet Union, and all the economic upheavals of the 20th century. Under the Soviets, the ruble was a tightly controlled symbol of socialist power, but it couldn't be traded freely on the world market. The collapse of the USSR in 1991 brought chaos. Hyperinflation wiped out savings, and the ruble was redenominated multiple times. Yet Russia's vast natural resources, especially oil and gas, helped stabilize the currency in the 2000s as global demand fueled economic recovery. Today, the ruble faces fresh challenges, from sanctions to volatile energy prices, but it remains a vital part of Russia's national identity. The ruble's story is really one of survival and adaptation, shaped by empires, revolutions, and the unpredictable tides of history. The South African rand was introduced in 1961, replacing the South African pound as the country became a republic. The rand's value was initially tied to gold, reflecting South Africa's status as the world's leading gold producer. But as the country's political situation grew more isolated during apartheid, the rand faced increasing pressure from sanctions and capital flight. The end of apartheid in the 1990s marked a turning point. The rand became a symbol of South Africa's reintegration into the global economy, but it's also been highly volatile, reflecting the nation's ongoing challenges with inequality, political change, and fluctuating commodity prices. Major events, like the 2010 FIFA World Cup, have brought brief boosts, but external shocks often send the rand swinging. Today, the rand is the most traded currency in Africa and a barometer of investor sentiment toward emerging markets. Its colorful banknotes, featuring Nelson Mandela, are a reminder of both the country's tumultuous past and its hopes for the future. The Singapore dollar's rise really mirrors Singapore's remarkable transformation from a struggling port in the 1960s to a global financial powerhouse. Before independence, Singapore used the Malaya and British Borneo dollar, but in 1967, the nation issued its own currency to signal sovereignty and economic ambition. Singapore's leaders focused on making the currency strong and stable, pegging it to a basket of currencies rather than just a single one. Strict monetary policy, sound governance, and a relentless drive for innovation turned the Singapore dollar into a symbol of trust. The city-state's strategic location and open economy attracted global business, and the dollar became one of Asia's most stable currencies. Today, the Singapore dollar is a favorite among investors seeking safety in turbulent times. Its vibrant notes and coins reflect the multicultural, forward-looking spirit of this tiny but mighty nation. The Hong Kong dollar is honestly a fascinating blend of East and West. Its origins date back to the 19th century, when British colonial rule brought the Hong Kong dollar into being, replacing various Chinese coins and foreign currencies. Uniquely, three major banks issue Hong Kong banknotes, a practice that continues to this day. The real story, though, is the HKD's peg to the US dollar in 1983, a move that brought stability during political uncertainty and economic change. The peg has survived the handover to China in 1997, the Asian financial crisis, and protests in recent years, making the HKD a symbol of Hong Kong's resilience and adaptability. Today, the HKD is a key currency for trade and finance in Asia. Its story reflects the city's special status as a global financial hub, balancing Chinese sovereignty with international openness.